But what we see now with the economic rise of China, financially, technologically, it's not possible to prevent their further rise with containment. And in terms of military containment, the Chinese appear to be responding with, enhancing its military capabilities quite drastically, which has the industrial power to do so. So it is the last question. In what direction do you see the United States and China heading? Do you think there's some path towards some great power compromise in terms of some kind of a new balance that allows, enhance the security of both sides? Um, or do you think it's more likely to go towards a clash? Because it doesn't seem as if China accepts, for example, to live within the two island chains, which they spend a lot of time complaining about. So where does the U.S. and China go from here, you think?
Glenn, let me answer this question by going back to the early 1990s and say a few words about the US-China relationship throughout the 90s and the first 2 decades, or the first decade and a half of the 21st century. China was economically a very weak power, certainly relative to the United States in, let's say, 1990. And what the United States decided to do at that point in time was adopt a policy of engagement toward China. This was the unipolar moment, and liberal ideology dominated in the United States. We were not worried about realist logic. Realists were seen as dinosaurs at the time. So what happens is the United States decides that it's going to adopt a policy of engagement with China, which is designed to make China powerful economically. In other words, we, the United States, fuel economic growth in China throughout the 90s and throughout the first at least 1.5 decades of the 21st century. And China, of course, grows more powerful. And when realists like me say this is not a smart thing to do because you're creating a peer competitor, most policymakers and most pundits and most analysts in the United States argue that's wrong, because what's going to happen is that as China gets more powerful economically and as it's integrated into institutions all around the world, these are American-dominated institutions, as the Chinese are brought into those institutions, that China will become eventually a liberal democracy. It will be hooked on capitalism, and it will become a responsible stakeholder because it participates in all of these institutions. And the end result is that this powerful China will live happily ever after with the United States because they are both liberal democracies.